Thank you so much, Morena, for giving me a couple of minutes to talk about this exciting project.
Of
About to
course.
bow to the Queen.
I love it.
I am very excited. I was watching the first couple of episodes yesterday. I love the tagline. Finally, studios are putting in the hands of women these huge, big projects. And this continues the very much needed conversation of women in positions of power. Still, there's a long way to go. But in this series, we see all those nuances in the main character's strength and vulnerability. So, what can you tell me about how the project and the character were presented to you, and how was your reaction? What was your reaction?
Yeah, funny. I just had a baby who was 3 or 4 months old when I got the call about the pilot, and I wasn't quite ready to go back to work yet. But I was very intrigued by this story of these two females. So I of course, read it and was like, oh, it's kind of good. It's very juicy. It's action packed. It's very smart, and the story is told in a
Mhm.
very smart way. And the fact that there were these two powerful yet vulnerable women at the helm, I just found very exciting.
Your character Elena is very complex and different from probably what you have done. In this one, you are the queen. You are the one who moves all the key pieces. You had your wife characters a phase or period, although unique and different and strong wives. You return to being or becoming dominant and central, powerful character like what you did in V and in Firefly. So, what can you tell me about Helena, and how did you build her, and how much of Morena is in Elena?
I mean, I'll tell you none, but of course, a lot. Um, I'm going to hide behind my mask. But I do
Okay.
think that she's a powerful guy with a
Mhm.
vulnerability. Like that's where the character really comes out. She's a bad guy that has an Achilles heel and has a heart. What she's doing, what she's fighting for ultimately is revenge for
Mhm.
what happened to her family. And that's a very noble cause. And so you
Mhm.
immediately connect with her and can identify with that feeling. If
Mhm.
you've had so much stripped away from you, of course, you don't want to resort to violence, but that's why this is a story and a fairy tale in a way. And I think it's told in such a fun way. Nothing is too serious, but what we're dealing with, if you think about it, are very serious allegations of members of the U.S. government. But
Mhm.
she is having so much fun doling out the revenge, and is such a creative and powerful and funny character. Yeah, it's been a blast. I just really try to focus on having a good time, but making sure she's authentic and real, and not a caricature.
That's what I love about your character and the series. I also find very fascinating how even in the fourth episode, the intensity of the action and the tension has not decreased. And generally, the first episode is a type of like a clickbait to hook the audience and then kind of slow down. Tell me a little bit about this specific aspect, the intensity of the series, which could be kind of counterproductive in the future, considering how demanding modern audiences are.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of show you want to binge watch, so it's really hard to go episode to episode. I mean, I guess you can binge watch it shortly. There's at
Uh-huh.
least five out now. But I think I don't know. There's something so great about the storytelling because
Mhm.
it's paced very well, I think, and it's a kind of show you want to watch more than once anyway. So I always like, my son is actually really into it, which is really sweet. He's 8, so I don't know if I'm being a good mother letting him watch the show. But he's like, let's watch the one before and then watch the new one so I can remember what's going on. So I just feel like the storytelling, the pace of the storytelling, makes it really easy to digest.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to work with Ryan Michelle, and if you have any kind of like technique or strategy to project what the material asks for, given that both are main pieces in this high stakes chess game.
Yeah. Um, she's great. We both come from theater backgrounds, so we really
Mhm.
love to break down the scenes and
Okay.
really work on them together and
Okay.
find ways to make it even deeper if possible.
Mhm.
sometimes, you know, because you're working on a network show, you have to do a lot of like summarizing what's happened so that people can remember when they tune in from the week before. But we really try to have our scenes, you know, to know the meaning behind every line and make sure that we're furthering the plot together. Um, and our scenes are very, there are so many layers to them. So it always takes us like 2 or 3 rehearsals on set to really like wrap our minds around, especially my lines. Like there's so many meanings behind everything I say. And if I haven't, like, I have to read the script a few times and really pay attention because, you know, a few episodes ago, I say where there's smoke, there's fire. And that line has 3 different meanings, you know, and eventually it's a clue to her. But every line has a big story behind it. So it's a lot of work and it's a lot of like stripping things down so we can be as specific as possible with it.
That's one of the things that I love the most about the show. I always try to compare movies or series, or suddenly they remind me of other projects. And in this case, I see some similarities with movies like Silence of the Lambs, or series like Alias, or even 24, and many more. So what can you tell me about whether there are any references or similarities with this or other projects?
Oh, interesting. I could see an element of Silence of the Lambs, that kind of like dangerous, like you're near a criminal, but you need the criminal for information. Although I'm not going to eat anybody. Uh, I can see, you know, honestly, a little moonlighting.
Oh, you do. You're
That
right.
relationship of like, you know, you fight with each other, but you really do like each other. Um, there's a little bit of Killing Eve, I think, in this as
Oh,
well, you
interesting. Yeah,
know,
interesting.
where there are 2 women who admire each other but
Mm-hmm.
are on different sides.
Oh,
I don't think my
I thought of that.
character is as dangerous. Or maybe she is. I don't know, depending on what her motivation is. Yeah.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Never thought of Killing Eve. I just one other question. I know I have to wrap up, so quickly. Don't hate me for this, but Deadpool 3 is already taking shape. So will you come back?
I haven't gotten the call yet. As soon as I
Okay,
do, I'll let you know.
okay, okay, perfect. Thank you very much. My time is up. Thank you again for giving me a couple of minutes. I love the show. I was hooked from the first minute. So again, congratulations, and I hope you a lot of success, and stay safe wherever you are. Thank you very much. Have a great
Thank you
day.
very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Morena. Bye bye.